Hello, welcome and namaste everybody. जी Sunil namaste. So welcome all in this our weekly family reunion of SIP follow session module 1. We have our resource person and first Sunil Bhaiya with us. जी Sunil Bhaiya namaste. Welcome.
जी नमस्ते भैया am I audible?
Yes, they are audible. Let's welcome our participant and also our participant on YouTube. Welcome all. जी भैया, welcome over to you.
Yeah, thank you. Let me share from my side.
जी.
So in the eSIP follow-up meeting, which happens on Wednesday, 7:30 to 8:30 p.m., we have been conducting this UHV content of the SIP program. Yeah, so this is being webcasted in the YouTube channel also. Students, those who attended the UHV 1 program online or offline, those who attended this SIP programs, they can attend this meeting. And many faculty members are also attending. And now this is high time to review this content because within another month's time, the admission process will commence in many institutions of the ACT institutions and the SIP will commence. So this is a good time to review the content of UHV 1. Now, in this cycle, we have been into session 4, where we discuss about how to address these aspirations and concerns, in which we started the about regarding the concerns as well as aspirations of the students, and then we noticed that there is a lack of right understanding in the human being, and what is required is, first of all, we have to understand who is a human being. So understanding human being is the content which we discuss right now. That is what we have discussed in the previous Wednesday also. So we continue with this content of understanding the human being. Now the proposal which we place before you is this. As we see in the workshop, the human being is a coexistence of self and body. The body is something which we can, the image of which we can see in the mirror. When we take a photograph also, we get the image of the body. But who takes the decision? Who enjoys food, music, movies, etc.? These questions were asked last Wednesday. Who feels high, elated, low, depressed, etc.? We have explored that this is not the body, but there is another reality which is taking the decision, enjoying the music, enjoying the food, and having these feelings, etc. And this is the self. This also is a proposal. Now we have discussed that in line with this, the need. In the need part, you see that the body requires these physical facilities. For example, food is a physical facility that is required for nurturing the body. Clothes are physical facilities which are required for protecting the body. Instruments are required for the body, like your pen, your mobile phone, your chair, or any other, like your spectacles. There are many. So these instruments are required for rightly utilizing the body. So these are the purposes of these physical facilities largely. You can notice that the feelings like happiness, and in that the feelings like respect, these are not the needs of the body but the needs of the self. And now when we explore further, we observe that the needs of the body are temporary. We don't need food for the 24 hours of a day. We don't need even clothes for 24 hours of a day. We change clothes. We don't need shelter. We don't need these instruments for 24 hours of a day. So there is a limited time for which we use these physical facilities. So that's why we say the needs of the body are temporary. Now, when you observe, you can see that the needs of the self, happiness, feelings of respect in that, etc. This is not temporary. I need this happiness every time, every moment. Are you able to see that there is no moment at which I want to be unhappy? This we have explored last week. Are you able to see that there are no moments at which I want to be unhappy? You can use the chat box and you can use the mic also. Many of you are provided with the mic. You can respond on the mic. For those who find it difficult to respond with the mic, they can use the chat box also. So you can ask this question to yourself, whether this needs of the self, is it continuous or temporary? For that, the question is asked, happiness. But is there any moment in your life at which you don't want to be happy, at which you want to be unhappy? What do you think? Is there any moment at which you want to be unhappy? No. Yeah. Ravindra Kunduji is typing happy. Yes. Nice. Rakiji is typing no. Ravindra Kunduji is typing child. What is the meaning of that, Paya? Can you use your mic and just elaborate upon this? Yeah. Family with children.
हेलो
That's what it is.
हाँ
Yeah.
जी
Gigi. Yeah. Namaste.
नमस्कार सर। मेरे कहने का मतलब ये सर, जैसे छोटे बच्चे होते हैं, जिसके जैसे फैमिली में बच्चे होते हैं, हम उनके साथ टाइम स्पेंड करते हैं जैसे, तो उनके साथ हमारा टाइम स्पेंड करना अच्छा लगता है। वो चाहते हैं कंटिन्यू वो चीज चलती रहे लॉन्ग टाइम के लिए, ताकि वो कंटिन्यू चल रहेगी तो वो हैप्पीनेस का एक मैटर है वो, ठीक है ना, सेल्फ के लिए भी बेनिफिट रहता है उसके लिए।
Yes, that is very true. But the question which I asked is there any moment in your life at which you don't want to be happy? That is the question which I said. I asked the reverse question. Is there any moment in your life at which you don't want to be happy or you want to be unhappy?
During the situation of sitting near to the higher person to on my job, आप कह सकते हैं यदि मैं किसी बंदे के पास जो मेरे से सीनियर है, मैं उसके साथ बैठा हूँ, तो वो भी एक किस्म से अनहैप्पी वाली कंडीशन होती है सर, क्योंकि आप उसको प्रॉपर बोल नहीं सकते हो, आपको साथ बैठना पड़ता है। जो सीनियर पर्सन होता है हमारे से या कोई भी बड़ी पोस्ट पे हमारे पास बैठा होता है, हम उससे प्रॉपर्ली बोल नहीं सकते, वहां पर थोड़ा एजिटेशन रहती है हमेशा, ऑलवेज एजिटेशन। ये भी अनहैप्पी की कंडीशन है।
Yeah, you can explore regarding this, whether if there is any moment in your family at which you want to be unhappy.
Okay, sir.
Okay, please explore. Nice. So I'm getting response from the chat box that as Ramalingam ji, Rishit Bhaiya, and many others type in the chat box that there is no moment in my life at which I want to be unhappy. That is, I want to be happy at every moment. So this exploration leads us towards the proposal that, or the verification of the proposal that the need of the self is continuous in time. And the third thing is the quality. So if you look at the quality or quantity aspect, this needs of the body, which are physical facilities, they are quantitative. You can measure them. You can count them. Number of clothes you can count. The amount of food which you require, you can measure that. The instruments, number of vehicles, for example, etc., you can count that. So this is quantitative, whereas the needs of the self, happiness, you cannot count. So this is qualitative. Yeah, so this we have discussed last day. Now, if we continue with this, these questions were asked last week also. Are these needs of different types or same type? What do you say? Are they of different type or same type? Different. Yeah. Very nice. Are both types of needs important? What do you think? Are both the types of needs important? Yes? Girish Priya, Ravindra Kundu Priya is typing yes in the chat box. Nice. Yeah. So both the types of needs are important, and do we want to fulfill both types of needs? Do we want to fulfill both types of needs, or do we want to fulfill only one type of needs? Either that is the body or the self. What do you say? Both needs. Nice. Yeah, these are very basic questions which we ask in the students workshop as well as in the faculty workshop. But now it is always good to explore within further and further regarding this question. So whenever we get opportunities like this, let us try to explore what is there in the question and how I can explore. Can I see the existence of the self through the needs? Now we are going to come to the activities and then the responses. Through this, can we see that there is an existence? There is existence of this reality which we refer to as self. Yeah, nice. So as you explore, both types of needs are important. The needs of the self as well as that of the body, and we want to fulfill both types of needs. That is very nice. Now the most important question here is: are we working for both types of needs? Are we working to fulfill both types of needs? What do you say? You can have a self introspection, or rather you say self investigation, and respond to the question: are we working for both types of needs? Ravindra Kundubhaya is telling yes. After UHV, yeah. So my exploration is changing after yes to fulfill both types of needs. Very nice. So you can see that you are working to fulfill both types of needs. Now, in that case, what is the priority between the needs of the self and needs of the body? What is the priority which we give to the needs of the self and needs of the body, which is given the priority? Do we give priority to the needs of the body or the needs of the self? We can see how much time do we spend in a day, 24 hours. How many hours do we spend in a day for the self, and how many hours do we spend for the body? I am getting a couple of responses. Ramalingam Bhaiya is typing self, and Ravindra Kundu Bhaiya is typing more focus on self. Girish ji is typing physical need first and then self. Yeah. So if you self introspect, you may be able to see this. Sometimes many of us will be focusing upon these physical facilities. So when we are focusing upon physical facilities, we may be able to see that these physical facilities, since they are the needs of the body, most of the time is spent for physical facilities. Devendra Kundu Bhaiya is typing body needs nutrition limited. Body needs nutrition, of course, that is limited. That is true. Parikshit Bhaiya is typing mostly for physical facilities. Yeah. So with our self introspection, we are able to come to a response whether we are truly giving maximum priority for the needs of the body or the self, or what is, yeah, we will go to what is essential later, what is required, what is desirable later. Let us see how to fulfill this. And if we say fulfill, I got to know how to fulfill this. How do we fulfill the needs of the body as it is given there? Are we fulfilling the needs of the body by the physiochemical things? Are we fulfilling the needs of the self by right understanding and right feeling? This has been discussed in the second session of this UHV 1, fulfillment of the needs of the self. The three things are important. One is the right understanding, second is the relationship, and third is the physical facility. Yeah, Devendra Kundu Bhaiya is typing in the chat box that most of the people work for physical facilities now. Yeah, this may be true. We can focus upon ourselves first when we do an exploration. When we give a response, let that be of ourselves. Of course, we can speak about others also, but after we speak about, I speak about myself. So right understanding and right feeling in the self, that is how we try to fulfill the needs of the self. But it changes with time, focus on self. That is what Bhaiya is typing again. Devendra Kundu Bhaiya. It changes with time, focus on self. Yeah. So when we explore into the content of universal human values, we can see that the fulfillment of the needs of the self is done by right understanding and right feeling. There is a need to work for this. And the physiochemical things, anyway, we are doing this. So we eat food, we wear these clothes, we use this shelter. So all these things are physiochemical things. The food or the clothes or the shelter, these are physiochemical things. So the fulfillment of the needs of the body is done by physiochemical things, and that of the self is fulfilled by, is accomplished by right understanding and right feeling. Now, if we ask the question, the needs of the body cannot be fulfilled by right understanding and right feelings alone. What do you think? Can we fulfill the needs of the body by right understanding and right feelings alone? Let us focus on the first statement. Why the statement is given just like that? We will focus upon that. Why then? Can we fulfill the needs of the body by right understanding and right feelings alone? Yakiji is typing yes in the chat box. The question is, can we fulfill the needs of the body by right understanding and right feelings alone? Okay, I have got a couple of yeses in the chat box. We can explore. Girish is typing with right understanding and right understanding, we will be able to understand the needs of the body. Yeah, that is there. Very true. What is the need of the body and how much do we require? This assessment can be done by this right understanding. But the question is, are we able to fulfill the needs of the body by right understanding and right feelings alone? This is also required, as Girish is typing in the chat box. These two are required to assess, to evaluate how much physical facility is required. Girish continues and distinguish the want and need of the body. Yeah, very true. But the needs of the body can be fulfilled by physiochemical things with right understanding. Are you able to see this? That the needs of the body can be fulfilled by physiochemical things with right understanding in the self. That is the assessment of the physical facility. This is done by the self. And with this assessment, we can produce or procure the physical facilities and see through the needs of the body. Yeah. At the same time, if you explore, are you able to see that the needs of the self cannot be fulfilled by physiochemical things? Are you able to see that the needs of the self cannot be fulfilled by physiochemical things? Yes, Girish is saying yes. When it comes to the needs of the body, this right understanding on the physical facility is also required. That is why it is written, right understanding and their feelings alone will not suffice for the body. When it is a self, the needs of the self are fulfilled by right understanding and right feeling. The physical facility has no role over there. This is what is meant by these two proposals. But this is also for our self-exploration. We can continue exploring about this. We can take examples and continue exploring about this. Yeah. Need of self fulfilled by right understanding and right feeling. Very nice. Very good. So what we explored is this. Both types of needs have to be understood separately. And both types of needs have to be fulfilled separately. Are we able to see these two also? The both types of needs have to be understood separately and both types of needs have to be fulfilled separately. Both are important. The body is important, self is important. Because for understanding purpose, we will be using the body. The self, we in the sense, self will be using the body. Right. So the needs of the body have to be fulfilled separately. Needs of the self also have to be fulfilled separately. Nice. Any questions till now? Well, if you have no question, I have this question for you. In living, what is the priority? How much time and effort is spent for right understanding and right feelings? And how much time and effort is spent for physical facility? In fact, many of you responded to this question earlier. This was asked in a different way, but the response was like this. How much time and effort is spent for right understanding and right feelings? And how much time and effort is spent for physical facility? From the chat box, I can read that mostly we spend time and effort for physical facility. 2, that is Devendra Kuduji is typing. Yeah, 2 in the sense we spend most of the time or more time for physical facility than right understanding and right feeling. Giriji is typing time to spend for physical facility is less. Giriji, can you respond with the mic? And understand that. Why did you say time to spend for physical facility is less? I'll provide mic to you. A second.
Am I audible?
Yes.
Okay, what I meant is a simple thing, because normally what we are doing is for our physical needs, whatever we are looking at. we have only limited needs, right? So what we need to have is maybe the food, sleep, and also to take care of our basic needs like food, shelter, clothes.
Yeah.
And for that, whatever time we are spending is definitely low. But now, when you are thinking about want, that is, then there is no time limit for that. If you are running for money, or if you are running for any prosperity, or if you are running for any other want for the body, there is no end for it. So then you will be spending endless time, and you will be running always in the misery, and you will not get satisfied, and that will be continuing as a loop. But the moment you understand that your physical needs are limited, and you can distinguish that from the want, you'll be spending less amount of time for your physical needs. That's what I meant.
I see. Okay. So when I say want, this want part is also for physical facilities, and the physical facilities are required for the body. With knowledge or without knowledge, what we do, as you said, is we may be running behind physical facilities without having an assessment of that. You use the word prosperity in between. So prosperity we did not discuss so far in detail, but it is a feeling of having or producing more than required physical facility.
True, very true.
The feeling
Correct.
part.
Correct.
Yeah. So prosperity and wealth are not the same. So people are not running behind prosperity. People may be running behind physical facilities. That doesn't mean that they have the feeling of prosperity. We cannot ensure the feeling of prosperity if they are running behind physical facilities. Now the thing is that maybe I can see two things from your response. That one is the time required for physical facility, which is the requirement of the body, is less. That is one thing which you mentioned. But other physical facilities, when you say other physical facilities, all the physical facilities are required for the body only. Can we say any physical facility which is not required for the body?
Shall I elaborate on that?
Yeah, please.
Actually, if you are seeing the want part, actually it is something like we are going on adding to it, and there is no happiness coming out of the feel of prosperity will not be there. You'll be adding on, you'll be accumulating. The moment you start accumulate, it's just like a beggar sitting on top of maybe a leap of, or maybe a large lump of gold, and we don't know what is the value of that gold even. So what is the happiness in that? So normally what we are doing is we are running thinking that whatever we are accumulating will give you happiness. The moment we realize that that is not the one that is giving the happiness, the right understanding or the right feeling that is actually giving you the happiness. The moment you share your wealth, or the moment you share some of your feelings or some of your understanding with others, naturally the response that you are going to get, not the reaction, the response whatever you are going to get, naturally you will feel happy about it.
Yes.
That's what I meant. It's not.
Okay,
it's very different from accumulation. That's what I meant.
This is fine. So when you try to accumulate and try to get happiness through this accumulation of physical facilities, it won't work out. This is very true. But when you run behind the physical facilities are for the body, and in that case, the time spent for physical facility is more, irrespective of whether we have the feeling of prosperity or not. But
actually, I have a difference of opinion. Normally, when you are doing this for the satisfying the need of the body, naturally you will be running less for it. But why we are feeling that this is my thought process, or I don't know whether it is right. You can always correct me on that. I really feel humbled with you when you're talking about. But what is happening is when you're running for your need, actually the time spent on the physical facility is definitely less, because our needs are limited. But the moment actually you are running for your want for the body or for the physical facility, you will be running for your entire life. Even then, you will not be feeling happy. So actually, anything if you are connecting with, if you connect that is for the physical facility, means the time spent for physical facility we need to actually reduce. The moment you understand that you are actually running behind the one, you will start to cut down that time to be spent on that running. Then what is happening is you will be spending more time for the self, and also to realize why this running has to be reduced. That's what I meant. So that in that way, definitely I feel that you should run less for the physical facilities and run more for something else.
Very true. There is a contradiction in what you are telling. That is why what I wanted to put over here. One is that if you have an assessment regarding the physical facility, this is leading towards a feeling of prosperity. That's the first part you said. Yeah. So if you have an assessment regarding physical facility, and in addition to that, you are running behind like the one part you said. So these two are like actually contradictory.
Yeah,
if you have
yeah,
an
agreed,
assessment regarding the
agreed.
physical
Actually,
facility,
that is, if you are thinking in that split, yes, that is true because
yes.
that is true. Agreed, agreed.
Yeah. So that is the point here. So if you have an assessment regarding this, we have a feeling of prosperity, and we confine our time for that purpose only. Rather, we don't go for accumulation. Rather, we go for this having a producing physical facility, which is as per the requirement. And
So,
the feeling that I can, the feeling that I can produce more than required physical facility through my right skills. This is a feeling of prosperity. But the excess physical facility which I produce, I am ready to share with others also. Then I won't go for this, as you said in the second part of your statement, the want part. In fact, the want part is what I want, and that is for the body only. Yeah. So if I do not have this assessment, then I go for this accumulation part. If I have this assessment of physical facility, the requirement part, I won't go for accumulation. Okay, the clarity has to be there. That's what I feel like. There is one hand raised. I can go to the hands. Yeah.
I think it is by me or someone else.
Okay, it is by you only. You only.
Okay, yeah. Actually, that is when so in the contradiction part only, I was a bit surprised because actually I was thinking that the moment you're running for the need, actually the time spent on physical facilities is definitely less, right? So why you feel the time to spend on physical facilities less is contradicting in that way? I didn't get that.
Yeah, in that case, it is okay. If you have an assessment of physical facility, we can limit the time also. That is very fine. And then, yeah, you can spend the remaining time for the right understanding part. So, yeah, very good. Nice discussion. What is required here is to have an assessment regarding the physical facility, and sorry, to the regarding the assessment regarding how much time and effort are we spending for the physical facility, and how much time and effort we spend for right understanding and right feeling. So very nice. We have a discussion like this with Girish ji, and we can continue this exploration. Because this is very fundamental. Even then, we have to, when we try to self-investigate or self-introspect, there are kind of explorations may be coming into. So we can just ponder upon this. Very good. So this may be different for different people. As Vinod Paya is typing in the chat box, it varies with from person to person. All right. So in living, what is the priority? That is the focus of discussion here. How much time and effort is spent for right understanding and right feeling? In 24 hours or in 7 days or maybe in a month or maybe in a year, you can get an estimate of how much time and effort are we spending. And what is in fact important here is to have an 1 second. Let me go back. When we have an assessment regarding how much time and effort is spent for right understanding and right feeling, we may be able to see that this is required for the cell, because the needs of the cell is fulfilled by or are fulfilled by right understanding and right feeling, and needs of the body are fulfilled by physiochemical things with right understanding. So the priority, as we can understand, is to be given to the self, but in practice we may be giving more priority to the body. So this contrast may be looked into at this point of time. Now, while selecting and eating food, what is desirable? We will go for an exploration to have more understanding regarding what is being discussed. What do you select? Selecting. Yeah, Sarida Didi, your mic is unmute. Do you have any sharing? Okay. So while selecting and eating food, what is desirable? selecting nutritious and tasty food, that is, the body is nourished. Selecting nutritious but not tasty food, the body is nourished in this case also. Even though the food is not tasty, the food is nutritious. So nourishment part is met with. Selecting not nutritious but tasty or junk food, in that case the body is not nourished. Selecting not nutritious and not tasty food, in this case the body is not nourished. Let us see what is happening to the self in each case. When you select nutritious and tasty food, taste is required in the body or the self? What do you think? Who requires a taste? The self or the body? Self. Girish is typing self. Very nice. So self requires a taste. Yeah. Devendra Kundu is typing self in the chat box. And the body requires nourishment. So when you choose nutritious and tasty food, the body is getting nourishment and the self is happy. When you select nutritious but not tasty food, the body is getting nourished but the self is unhappy. When we select not nutritious but tasty or say junk food, the body is not nourished but the self is happy because there is taste. When we select not nutritious, not tasty food, the body is not nourished and the self is unhappy. What is our choice? 1, 2, 3 or 4? 1. Well, Ravalingam ji, Girish ji, Manthan ji, Sarita ji, and Barishu ji, all of you are typing 1 in the chat box. Yeah. Body is to be nourished, self is to be happy. This is what I want to be. This is what is naturally acceptable to me. So, nutritious and tasty food. For that, we can see who is selecting what to eat, how much to eat, when to eat, self or the body. Who is doing the selection? Self or the body? Self. Ramalingam ji is typing self, self. Girish ji is typing self. Sarida ji is typing self. Vinod ji is typing self. Very evident that self is the decision maker. Devendra Kundu ji is typing self in the chat box. Self is the decision maker and body is used as an instrument of the self. So, what to eat, how much to eat, when to eat, these decisions are taken by the self. Whatever is being put in the mouth, the body just consumes. The sensation is there from the body to the self that I am hungry, and the self decides what to eat, how much to eat, when to eat, all this. And when the self is deciding to overeat, the body obliques. When the self decides not to eat because it's a fasting day or some other, or maybe the food is not available, or my choice is not to eat at this time, there also the body will be having this sensation, but since there is no food, the body cannot do anything upon that. So the decision maker is the self. The one which understands is the self, and the one which enjoys the taste in this example is also the self. Right. So I can choose, or the self can choose, nutritious food which is nutritious for the body and food which is having taste. A taste may give me some kind of excitement. I won't say happiness, but some kind of excitement. A temporary happiness. That's fine. Now we can find out what is the difference it may make by understanding human being as the coexistence of self and body, or assuming that human being is just a body. What is the difference, or what difference is made by understanding human being as the coexistence of self and body, or assuming, there I won't say understand, but assuming that human being is just a body in the context of this food or the needs of the self and the body? When you assume that human being is just a body, when you assume that human being is just a body or something else, yeah, I am getting comments in the chat box that Sardaji is typing, no, it is self and the body. Yeah. So now this exploration is not, I mean, it is, in fact, we have already explored that the human being is self and the body in coexistence. But when you consider the human being is just a body, as Girish ji was telling earlier, this accumulation of physical facility may happen. Because then I think that everything is for the body. I will consume more. I will accumulate more. More means what? More physical facilities. This will happen there. In case of food also, sometimes I may overeat. This also may happen. And I may accumulate whatever physical facilities which are required or not required without having an assessment of this. This may happen. But understanding the human being as the coexistence of self and body helps me to assess the requirement of physical facility, choose nutritious food only, and of course I will choose tasty food also, nutritious and tasty food, which is good for the body, for nourishment of the body, for nurturing the body, and the taste is enjoyable to the self. Right. So when we understand that the human being is the coexistence of self and body, I can also see that the needs of the self, happiness, for example, this is fulfilled by right understanding and right feeling, and needs of the body are fulfilled by physiochemical things. Now I can have an assessment regarding the physical facilities, and I will be working for right understanding in the self and right feeling in the self. Now another exploration. What is naturally acceptable to you? Feeling of respect or disrespect? What is naturally acceptable to you? Feeling of respect or disrespect? Girish ji and Barashu ji are typing respect in the chat box. Nice. Ramalingam ji is typing respect in the chat box. Good. Nice. So this we can see with our natural acceptance that respect is naturally acceptable to me. What about a small child? This content is placed for the students. So to explore, we place these questions also. What about a small child, an old woman, a rich man, a sweeper? The feeling of respect is there. A well-dressed person, a beggar, someone who speaks fluent English, someone who speaks fluent Hindi, or any other regional language, but not English. English is saying yes to all. The feeling of respect, this is naturally acceptable to all the people who are listed over here and all to all the others also. And there are a few examples are given here because there may be a previous notion of respect that the elders are to be respected. What about a small boy, a small child, all women? Yeah. So all women, sweeper, rich man, whoever it is, they are human beings. So respect all. We will have a discussion on respect in detail later, but still the question is here. So this is good for our self-exploration. Now, who is finding this answer that you respect all? self for the body. Ravindra Kunduji has already written self. Very nice. This answer is being, or this response is being found out by the self. The body cannot find this response. Just 1 second. Yeah, okay. Yeah, so this answer or the response is found by the self, not by the body. The body is just an instrument, just like a material. While the self, as we discussed in depth, to be a consciousness entity, is taking the decision. So while the body of all these people may look different, they're speaking about this people only, the child, old women, a rich man, sweeper, etc. At the level of self, there is similarity. Everyone has a natural acceptance for respect. Is it not? At the level of body, they are different. A small child, an old woman, a rich man, a sweeper, a well-dressed person, a beggar. But what we see from the outside is the gross body, and the respect is being offered based on the gross body. Is it so? What is happening in the society right now? We say that the self is to be respected and all of them are to be respected. But what is happening in the society? Are we respecting all? Girishji, namaste.
Actually, can I speak?
Yes, you can.
Yeah, actually the same thing just now what you popped up, that's what actually I was thinking. Because naturally we know that when you're taking the news or any other info, when you are seeing, naturally we feel definitely disrespect for many people in and around. The reason actually we feel that okay, we have one preconditioning that this is the right thing, that is good for the society, that is good for us. So naturally we feel that they are not doing in that line, or they are not doing the same thing what you are expecting. Let us say that being obedient, being good, and being best in the nature, doing good to others, all is actually the preconditioning again. That is, someone is telling that is good for you. Now, the same way, another person can be preconditioned that doing all wrong is good for them. So what is happening is this effect is actually creating a bias, or that this difference is actually making us to feel that okay, disrespect a person who is corrupt, disrespect a person who is something not doing as per you, as per the liking of you. But the only part is, if you see that whenever someone is being corrupt or whenever someone is doing something wrong, there may be a reason for him to do that part, and we have no idea what made him to do that. But we are just thinking, or we are just seeing only one side, and we are making a decision, and we are telling that is not good. We are not exploring further. So in what way actually we can avoid this? Because even though we know that okay, respecting others is good, but still we feel that concern in us, that is okay, this is not right, whatever he has done in the physical front is not right. Like a big man is actually raping maybe a 4-year-old kid or maybe a small kid, and everyone know that is not a right thing, but why he is doing it? He has done it, so we feel that is not right, we should not respect that person. But why he has done, there should be a reason for him, and we never bother, or we never ask what is the reason. So this preconditioning, how we can completely eradicate? And I feel that everyone is preconditioned either for good or for bad or for neutral, and some in that way we cannot avoid this preconditioning, right?
Yeah, we cannot avoid is also a preconditioning. So the preconditioning is there. That may be true, but we have to work upon this. When you say preconditioning is there, it is also right to say that we are not able to see the things through our natural acceptance. So we will be having this discussion on intention and competence, preconditioning, sensation, natural acceptance later, and then we can take up this comment or question again at that time. Right now, we did not explore regarding the feelings part. So the feeling of respect is what is being discussed. Whatever the previous notion we have regarding this feeling of respect, we can respond with respect to that only. So the question here is whether the body is to be respected or whether the self is to be respected. Are we able to see that the self has this similarity, but the body may be having dissimilarity, or the body may be having differences, like small or rather young or elder, old women or young women, whatever, rich man, poor man, sweeper, having high position, whatever, well-dressed person, not well-dressed person, beggar. So all these people are having different bodies, or maybe different physical facilities, like clothes, for example, different kind of clothes also they are having. Yeah, so here what is happening is the respect may be offered in the society, the current society, based on these differences. This can be the focus, but everyone has similar self, but there is difference in the self also in the level of understanding. Focus can go up to this, but we discuss about that in detail in the later sessions. So everyone has a natural acceptance, of course. This is something which you can see. What is naturally acceptable to me is naturally acceptable to you and every other people. So everyone has a natural acceptance for respect, and this is there with every human being as it is natural acceptance. And we have to look into whether we are able to see that. So find out what is the difference it may make by understanding human being. Again, the same question is asked. Understanding the human being as the coexistence of self or body, and assuming that human being is just a body. So previous exploration also we asked the same question. Now also we are trying to ask the same question. Here in this exploration, feeling of respect or disrespect, this is a feeling in the self. What difference does it make if you consider the human being just as a body? What do you think?